Hoppy from over on Creditwrench says that he had a credit card with Capital One. Says the limit on it was $1,500. And then he went to study abroad for a summer, and when he got back, the economy had completely wiped out his old work. He struggled to find a job and had to settle for minimum wage to pay his living expenses. In the interim, he was not able to pay the Capital One credit card. He finally found a decent job, he says, and now he wants to settle his credit card and start repairing his credit. He must have been researching debt settlement, or he says he'd been researching debt settlement, and would like to send a validation letter to Capital One to get things started in order. Well, Hoppy, let's start off by not sending any debt validation letters to Capital One because they are the original creditor, and FDCPA don't apply to them. Therefore, they have no responsibility to that law, and they don't have to respond to your validation letter, and there isn't anything you can do about it if they don't. Hoppy goes on to say, but from all the horror stories he's heard about Capital One, he's afraid their answer will be a lawsuit. Well, Hoppy, why are you so terrified of a lawsuit? Instead of being afraid of a lawsuit, you should welcome them. And because that will be one of the best things that could happen to you. Yeah, I know. That statement will probably make you think I must be out of my mind, but the real truth is that since lawyers are third-party debt collectors, they fall under the FDCPA and must validate upon demand, which they will probably fail to do. That gives you the right to sue under federal law. Yeah, I understand that probably horrifies you even more. But the truth of the matter is that no matter what you do, Capital One is not going to remove that trade line unless you force them to do so. And the only way to force them to do so is to get them into federal court on a violation of FCRA, Fair Credit Reporting Act. Now here's the way that works. First of all, the lawyer contacts you and sends you a demand for validation, and you send him a demand for validation. He can't legally move forward with any collection activity until he provides you with a full and complete accounting of the debt, which he's not very likely to do. But he goes ahead and files a lawsuit anyway in violation of Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. That's violation number 2. Number 1 was failure to validate, and number 2 stems from the fact he filed a suit, which is illegal continued collection activity. Each and every little thing he does, that lawyer does, from then on, constitutes another violation. Your job will be to cause them as much legal grief as possible. Then take the lawyer to federal court and make him get rid of that judgment as a part of the settlement agreement. That's easy to do. The federal court is much easier to deal with than local courts are. You can easily win in federal court, even though you might lose in local court. Hoppy goes on to say, so here's the facts of his case. The credit card was maxed out at $1,500 when he made his last payment. He hadn't made a payment in just over 2 years now. I haven't received any bills, he says, or credit notices or anything for just over a year. The last bill he received showed the account at $2,500. I was starting to set aside money and should have $3,000 to $4,000 saved up by mid-October. My question is, his questions are, how should he initiate contact with Capital One? Should he call him, or is it better to start out with a debt validation letter? Don't. It isn't going to do you any good. Hoppy says, when should I contact them? Should I wait until I've enough saved up to pay in full in case they try to sue me, or should I start now? Hoppy, you won't have enough saved up by October either, because you'll add more and more to it. You're like a dog, agent's tail. The general consensus is that Capital One will not clean the collection. This is the reason it kept spending full. That's true of my Hoppy. That's why you have to take federal court on any other violations, make it far too expensive for them to even argue about. All those interested in best set a motion faithful of the workers from credit. I won't remove that to the 40% of the federal
needs fail. Actually, God minimal. It's time for all help and right work here from reaching my generalized ladder. You devil will have the things to decide to do, not ready.